LeBron is headed back to Miami. Christmas Day, the Heat host the Cavs. Of course, LeBron led the Heat to the NBA Finals in all 4 seasons. He was there winning 2 titles, but he left as a free agent in the offseason. All right, guys, so how should LeBron be received on Christmas by the Heat fans?
They should give him a standing, rousing ovation and thank him for all of his years of service. He gave them 4 great years. A matter of fact, I still think the league itself is recovering from him. We got a lot of great, fantastic basketball being played throughout the NBA. There is no question. But I don't believe, Skip, that the absence of buzz to this season is due in large part to just NFL games being played, and that's where everybody's mind is right now. I think to some degree there's something that was lost. As great of a move as it was for him to go back home and to go back to Cleveland or whatever, I mean, D-Wade, Bosh, and LeBron in Miami, I mean, it was like rock stars, you know what I mean? It was just a little bit different, a lot different actually, than anything that exists right now. And you had people on 2 extreme sides of the fences. They absolutely, positively loved everything about it, or they absolutely despised LeBron for leaving Cleveland to do this because of how it was done, the decision and everything else. And it took him a couple of years to just work through that and to get to the point where he was actually likable again in a lot of people's eyes. But if you are Miami, what is there to complain about? I mean, this dude, let's look at this stuff and put it in its proper context, okay? His first year in Miami, 26, 7-7. Second year, 27, 7-6. Third year, 26.8, 8-7. Last year, 27.1, 5-6. And by the way, along the way, Skip, he missed 3 games his first year, 4 games his second year, that's 7, 6 games his third year, that's 13 games, 5 games last year. Overall, in 4 seasons' time, he missed about 18 games. That's it, grand total. He showed up to work every day. He played at an elite level. He guided you to 4 NBA Finals appearances. The first year, obviously, it was more about Dwayne Wade than anybody else. But ultimately, as Dwayne Wade's health deteriorated to some degree, LeBron had to carry more of a load. In the end, as sad as I was to see him go, as much as I understand that it's great to go home, the fact is that we can have any feelings that we want. But the city of Miami, I'm not talking about the Heat, because we understand, and you're right on the record, Skip, talking about how LeBron, you know, if you're Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, you basically left them and was like, look, I need to move on to better pastures, implying that there's something better. The Heat can feel any way they want to. But the city of Miami, those fans at America Airlines Arena, there is nothing to talk about. You should stand up. You should give this man a rousing, lengthy ovation to thank him for the greatness that he blessed you with over the period of 4 years, because it was great. I know I miss it. I know I do.
Well, because you don't get to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, you know, Rob King and everybody else laugh at me because they like sending me to Cleveland.
Our bosses.
Yes, our bosses like sending me. I woke up in Cleveland when I was there for the San Antonio Spurs game, and I had to do Sports Center outside, and I had on my coat with my shades, and you saw me shivering. I woke up in Cleveland. It was 1 degrees. 1. Now, you talking about a dude that's accustomed to sitting there and standing overlooking Biscayne Bay. You know, while I'm doing radio interviews, overlooking the water, chilling. And I went from that to 1 degrees. I have no intentions of forgiving LeBron anytime in the near future.
You know,
but Miami should.
I believe.
No standing O from you, though.
I can't tell you how sorry I am for you.
What?
And I also can't tell you how much, how deeply and passionately I disagree with every word you just uttered.
Go ahead.
Those people gave LeBron James for those 4 years nothing but standing ovations. They treated him royally, King James. And the greatest thing that ever happened to LeBron's career was to get to play with Dwayne Wade.
I agree.
Who taught him how you do it. just how to win not just games but championships. And I still say Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy with that corner three at the end of regulation of Game 6 because he was in grave danger of falling to 1 and 3 in the finals. And it was a mutual give and take. They were great to him. He was very good to them. I agree with what you say. But this time in this game, this is what I would do if I'm a Heat fan and I can't speak for them. I would just give him the silent treatment. I would just cheer for my team. When he's introduced, I would hope it's just dead silence in that building, just the way it would be for any visiting player.
It's not for stars. Okay. It's never silent for stars.
Well,
stars show up in opposing arenas. They get cheered or booed.
Well, one way or the other. But this should be silent treatment. Just sit on your hands, keep it quiet, and cheer like mad for Dwayne Wade if, in fact, Dwayne plays. I'm never sure whether he can play. It doesn't sound like Chris Bosh is going to be able to play.
I will say this. The Dwayne Wade that I know ain't missing Christmas Day.
Okay. I hope you're right.
I can't imagine that.
Okay, so you and I have disagreed on this, and you probably know more about it than I do. But it still appeared to me, from what I heard from people I know in and around the Heat, that LeBron gave them little to no warning about his departure to go home. And he did, in effect, leave them a little high and a little dry. And deep down, even though Dwayne is way too politically correct, and he loves this man like a brother, he's never going to say it publicly, but I think he was a little stung by how he got left high and dry after all he had given to LeBron. LeBron said, fly, man. I got a shot here, and I think he knew at that point he had a real chance of pairing up with Dwayne Wade. He knew he could pair up with Kyrie, and so he's looking, saying, I got to get a little younger here. I got to get a little better. I got to go home. None of us held anything against him for going home, but I still hold something against LeBron for leaving his blood brothers behind. And I think Chris Bosh became a blood brother of his. I know they're not greatly close, but they won a lot of games together. They won a couple championships together. And in this case, the Heat are struggling because Dwayne Wade, as you warned me, has not been healthy. He missed 7 games. I think it was a hamstring. I don't think it was his usual issues with his back or whatever it is. But he rested 1 game, so he just hasn't been there. But when he's been there, he's had some big Dwayne Wade nights. So they're hanging in there at 13 and 15. I still think they're going to be a factor. I'm rooting for them just because of what LeBron left them or didn't leave them.
Let me say it for the purposes of this show. Let me just put it out there. It's just my personal belief by being around everybody, seeing the things that I've seen, etc. I personally believe that if Dwayne Wade was healthy and he was somebody that you could rely upon health-wise, because we all know his game is big time when he's healthy, if that had happened, LeBron stays. But LeBron wasn't going to stay because of the Miami Heat organization or any affinity for Pat Riley. He does not despise him. They don't hate each other or anything like that. But South Beach is Pat Riley's town. It's not LeBron's.
Yep.
It belongs to Pat Riley. And Pat Riley's going to run the show for the Miami Heat. It's not going to be any player, and that includes LeBron James.
So you don't think what Pat said publicly alienated LeBron? Remember the challenge, I think don't cut and run from this?
I think it did alienate him to some degree, but I think the decision by them was already made. And I think that what you heard from Pat Riley was somebody who was a bit upset because LeBron made it very, very clear that if you want to talk with him, you have to communicate with Rich Paul, his agent. Mm-hmm. And you, Pat Riley, well, wait a minute, I'm Pat Riley, and I've been running this organization, and we cultivated a relationship, and you sending me to your representative, that offended Pat Riley. Then when you combine that with the fact, and this is the part where I didn't, it's the only thing in this entire process, honestly, that I didn't agree with LeBron James about. He's free to leave. He's free to think about his family. He's free about being home. He's free to want to take care of the fellas. Yeah, Rich is doing his thing because he's a rep, and Maverick's doing his thing because he's in marketing, and Randy's doing his thing, but he's working for the Cavaliers organization. That wasn't necessarily the case with him in Miami. Damon Jones, your friend and mine, is a shooting coach on the Cavs. That wasn't the case in Miami. So, I mean, you know, think people that he loves, people that fall under his inner circle, are being taken care of. Riley wasn't necessarily going to do that. But to get back to my point, where I really, the only part about this whole equation where I disagree with LeBron James is this. You were right there in Miami prior to being in Vegas. Pat Riley should not have had to fly out to Vegas to sit there and talk with you, not interview you, but talk to you and trying to coax you to stay.
Right.
I mean, you were in Miami 48 hours earlier. You know what I'm saying? To have Pat Riley fly out to Vegas to sit there and talk with you prior to you announcing your decision, he's not wrong. He can do it. But if you've had any kind of relationship with somebody, do you do that?
A little beneath his dignity?
I'm saying, it's Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him. The man's got 5 rings. The man has won a championship as a coach and as an executive.
Yeah.
The man has established it. And oh, by the way, the bottom line is, for the most part, the promises that he made, he kept. In terms of building this team around you, acquiring the necessary pieces, putting you in a position to compete for a championship, it's not like you were lied to. I mean, it's very few of us in life that have an executive, a boss, that looks you in your face, tells you what they're going to do, and then does it. And Pat Riley did that. And so, to me, it would have been great if he had met, but I have no problem with LeBron leaving. I have no problem with LeBron looking out for his best interest and that of his family. As we look and see what Dwayne Wade is great of a player and a person. We know him to be that we can't say the same about those knees. All right. And now it's the hamstring or whatever. It's something. And so when you have those kind of injuries and the question mark is whether or not you're going to be able to go, and then you're LeBron and then you're in the locker room and you're finding out day to day whether LeBron or whether D. Wade is going to be available or whether he's not. And D. Wade is telling you he's ready to go, but then hours later the team is telling you, no, he's not going, regardless of what he says. That's a very haphazard position for a star of LeBron's magnitude to be in, because day to day you're wondering, am I going to have my troops with me? That's a lot to ask. And so I can't knock him for that. I'm just saying that this wasn't the decision. It wasn't nearly as bad. He wasn't wrong, but it is Pat Riley. It is Pat Riley.
Is it fair to conclude this won't be all feel-good in the return? That
Absolutely.
Be a little bit of uncurrent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think but it's not going to be bitter. I mean, Dwayne loves LeBron and vice versa. So that's not going to change. But in terms of LeBron and the organization, of course, you love the dudes, but at the same time, it's like you left. And Riley's very competitive. So Riley wants to compete with him.
Maybe the better question should have been, how will Pat Riley receive LeBron? But we won't go there. We won't open that.
Pat Riley is going to he's a consummate professional. He's going to be professional and all of that other stuff. But the love affair is over. But that doesn't